Okay, very different setup this time. My podcast might vary, but right now I have a actual soundboard that I can use. My boyfriend is moving, so he had to leave like a lot of his stuff here. He was like, "Hey, I'm gonna like leave my podcast stuff here. You should like totally use it." Literally, he told me this today, like a Saturday. And what did I do after I got off of work? I set that shit up so quick. I set it up so quick. So it makes my life a lot easier, and it's really cool and easy to set up to my computer. And it's giving like Emma Chamberlain vibes. I mean, she literally just like does her podcasts on her Mac. It's super low key. I personally enjoy it a lot more. It feels more intimate. Feels like I could be more raw on here because I mean I'm literally the video diary queen, so I'm always on the photo booth app, like just recording myself, like talking, because I think I've mentioned this in a podcast before. Like it just makes me feel better about myself when I'm able to talk through my issues, but it's something about visually looking at myself. Like I feel like when I've made other podcasts, like one of them, like I set up my computer as in like how I am right now, and I was just kind of talking in like a little baby mic that I had. Um and it made my thoughts flow a lot easier. It was much easier for me to talk about things in like a more chronological way, rather than me just kind of staring off into space and making sure that I'm keeping on track with myself. And no more complaining about my, maybe an intro being involved, which eventually at one point I'm probably going to get some kind of intro that looks cool. But for right now, this will do. But hey guys, I recently have been feeling very, very under the weather. As in, I don't really understand what is going on. As in, I am depressed as hell, and I couldn't tell you why. Um, the problem with depression is that most, I'm not going to say most, but some people have a certain, think a certain way about what depression actually looks like. And there's like multiple forms of it. I would say that I would consider myself a more like highly functioning, because I'm never going to necessarily stop doing what I need to do. I'm not going to call out of work. I can't lay in my bed all day. Like I used to do that for a while, and like that's why like I've been in all different kinds of forms of depression. And like I mean, when you have it, like you're not always going to like I'm not always going to be highly functioning. There are going to be times where all I do is lay in my room and I don't associate myself with anybody, or there's another time when I am extremely depressed and I'm too scared to be by myself, so I'm constantly surrounding myself with people and I don't allow myself to relax. um I kind of wanted to just talk about it because I feel like when you're in college, this is either your most depressing time or it's hidden depression. Like you feel as if like you have to be a part of a certain culture, or you're in a certain demographic that you don't have room to be depressed. And I think that's literal bullshit. Like I would consider myself like a very spontaneous person. Like I literally think I'm a cat with 9 fucking different lives. Like every single year I have been brought up on this earth, I am drastically different. And for better, maybe back then for worse. But I think the problem is that we talk about depression and like, like there's lots of different resources that you can use, specifically on like at the school that I go to. There's tons of mental health resources. It's spread all over campus. That's not everywhere, but I do know that like mental health awareness is definitely on. It's been on the upbringing, and like people are very loud and expressive about it, which is a very, very good thing. But it's almost like it's like a facade, like it's like fake, like we network and we post about mental health awareness, but we ourselves are not actually taking care of our own mental health. And because one, we either don't know how to, two, we feel like we can't, or three, like we don't want to. Like most people like don't want to be in touch with their own emotions or feelings because of those three reasons. And I would consider myself kind of a mixture of all three. I have always been someone who has always put other people way at the top, and I can put myself at the very bottom of the pyramid, because I didn't really know what it was like to be authentic with myself, which is why like I mentioned earlier, I'm literally a cat with like 9 different lives. I didn't really know who I was. I was always changing things about myself. Like in one of my other podcasts where I was talking about being my upbringing on my fashion, or clothes that I used to wear and what I used to think I had to look like to fit in. And I would, like people always say stuff like, oh no, like you shouldn't have to feel like you always need to fit in, and like, but like you're going to do it anyway. Like the anxiety is still there. It's never going to leave. Like no one is ever going to 100% truly feel like they can be themselves around everybody. And I feel like that was my problem. Like I feel like I always had to be some version that people pictured me as. And I still do that now. Like I talk about my feelings on here, and I'm going to be able to talk about it a lot more, but I feel like it's fake. Like I said, fake authenticity. Like when I had one of my very first podcasts, I talked about being vulnerable. But I myself am not vulnerable. Like I am surface level vulnerable, and I am able to talk about things and get surface level deep with people, but that's considered deeper to most people because I'm talking to people who already don't know how to process their own emotions, so it's not helping me. Like when I've discussed, this is not all people in my life, but when I have discussed like depression or me having anxiety, I'm sorry, it seems about like 99% of the population has depression or anxiety or both, or they have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Like everyone has their own, I'm convinced everyone literally has their own sense of mental instability in some shape way. You are not going to be 100% authentic, 100% perfect, 100% happy, 100% sad. And I hate that term perfect. Like you have to act, that plays into fake authenticity. You feel like you have to be perfect all the time. And I never felt like I had to be perfect all the time. I just felt like I had to be nice, supportive, there, happy. Like, but I can't be. And then when I felt like I wasn't like that, I would constantly apologize, like over and over and over. I'm so sorry, like that I wasn't there and I didn't do this one thing, and I always owned up to my faults that I had, like because I've had many times where I have been a bad person. I have had my fair share of mistakes, and I have owned up to them. And I apologize if you are watching this and you are one of those people that I have affected, because people hurt people, but we are human. And I don't know. I'm tired of like always feeling like I have to pretend to be like not emotionless, because I am not that at all. It's just like when I explain to people my feelings, I just give them a gist. I don't get in the real like nitty gritty of things, because or if I'm bothered by something, I kind of am just like, all right, that's fine. You do what you want. Like, I don't care what we do. Because when people like give me an ultimatum on decisions or how they feel, and like I don't know what to say, like I don't want to upset anyone, it's really, really, really hard for me to stand up for myself and to tell people that they made me upset, because I run with one instance. Like if I stand up to somebody that I've never stood up for myself against, like I tell them something that they made me upset, and they automatically are just like, well, I mean, I don't know what you expect, or two, like I understand that, but you did blank, blank, and blank, and they're not validating me. I, as a whole, feel as if I am not valid at all. So then I'm like cutting out the whole thing. I'm just like, you know what? That one person treated me that way and reacted the way that I did the one time that I stood up for myself, so I'm never doing it ever again. And then I just pretend that I'm good all the time, that I like what they say didn't bother me, and then I'm fine with them just like talking to me like any way, and I'm just going to be like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then it becomes a pattern where I'm making myself believe that how they treat me, like that I'm validating them for their chaotic behavior, because they couldn't own up to their own emotions and their own actions, so I had to own up to it for them. But it wasn't me. It wasn't me who they're affecting me. Why do I have to feel like I have to stand up to them and all the time, and like it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, and this was what I talked about in the last thing, is that people the way that they treat you goes a mile long, a long trail of tears, because like the way that people have conformed my brain into thinking that I am this minuscule version of myself, that I have no voice. I feel like I don't even feel like my voice is in a box. I feel like it's in a box that was on the on a U-Haul, and the U-Haul got lost. And I don't want to feel like that anymore. I don't want to feel like I have to constantly like affirm to everyone's ways of living or beliefs or the way that they think that I should feel. Like, and I get very overwhelmed by that, which is why it's fake. Like, I tell people that, and I don't know if you guys relate to this either, but the term, like, it's okay to not be okay, I believe in that, but like, it just kind of feels like someone's saying something to fill a small temporary gap. Like there is no permanent solution as to why I feel feelings, you know? Like, and I don't know if there ever will be. I don't know if I'm ever going to accomplish true happiness, and I am fully fine with that. Well, maybe I'm not. Maybe I want to accomplish true happiness, but like, I don't really know what that is. I find things that make me happy. I do things that make me happy, but I feel like I have to feel that way 100% of the time when I'm doing those things. Like, when you're heartbroken, or when you are just even bored, you're supposed to fill that time up with a productive hobby. This is what I would consider my hobby. This is what I would consider my outlet. Is this always going to be my outlet? No. Should it be? No, it can be, but I've accepted that there are multiple ways for you to allow yourself to feel things, and it doesn't have to be through people. It doesn't have to be through something like this. Like, it could be I've grown over time to where I've been able to truly only talk to myself about the way that I feel, because I'm so terrified of what the other person is going to say. Like, and it's abandonment. Like, I'm constantly fearful that the second that I tell someone that I'm upset with them, that they're going to run away from me, or they're going to conform themselves into acting a certain way in front of me because I am upset. And I don't want that. I don't want that. And that just plays into the whole facade of acting like you're okay when you're not. And it sucks. And I don't think anyone really knows necessarily what to do about it. I mean, we all could make podcasts like this, and we all could listen to talks like this, and we all could go to therapy, and it just doesn't feel like, it's not that it's enough. It doesn't, you don't feel satisfied. I don't feel satisfied. Like, this is helping. But like I've said a billion times, surface level helping. And I guess now I'm thinking about it, the only thing that you can really do is actually let yourself feel. Just you. Like, allow yourself to react in the way that you want to react. Allow yourself to be the way you want to be in front of anyone, or just in front of yourself, and sit with that feeling for a while. Let it marinate, because you're never going to really accept that you're allowed to feel that way in front of anybody, or especially yourself, unless you, like, that's it. That's the other thing. Like, thinking that you're like, oh yes, I was actually really sad about that. Like, and now I feel better. And then again, you run on that one time that you actually stood up for yourself, and then you're like, yeah, I did it. No, do that all the time. Just because don't let one singular experience trap you into thinking you're always going to feel that way, or you're always going to do this. Like, people think everything is about, like, consistency and doing it over and over and over again. Like, no. Like, I don't even know really. You know what? I don't really know either about how to process emotions, or what to do with them, or what even is my version of being sad, or my version of being actually happy, and my version of actually being authentic, because I am to some level, but is that the only level I'll be able to achieve, or is there more? Am I only allowing myself to feel a surface level of emotion, or because I'm afraid of myself, or am I afraid of people? Like, there's so many things involved. There's so many things involved regarding, like, just regulating and processing basic emotion. Like, I don't even think that should even be in what I just said. Basic emotion. There is no such thing. But I guess that was my podcast episode. Maybe it was productive for you. Maybe it wasn't. I didn't really end with an ending message because I don't really have one. And I'm not really going to I don't necessarily always feel like these podcasts have to end with advice. If you suffice with what I say, then you do. If you don't, then you don't. Sometimes I will have advice because I'll feel in a very empowering mood at that time, but this time I kind of just wanted to rant because maybe it was something that I also needed to hear, and if you relate to it, then it's something that you need to hear as well. So, I hope you enjoyed, and I am so excited to have this board because it literally is, it's just so, I can't really like lean my computer back to show you, but it's actually nice to sit here in my room and record and not have to, like what the process that I was doing. I was going to my school library, recording it, sending it to my computer, editing it on my computer, and then putting it on Spotify. But YouTube we go, I guess. But maybe I think I'm just going to do both, like Spotify and YouTube, or some on Spotify, some on YouTube. It kind of just depends because I'm not going to have this equipment forever. But maybe I'll get something of my own because it is my birthday very soon. And I'll be like, oh, hey. Because every time like my family asks me, what do I want for my birthday? What do I want for Christmas? I'm like, your love and acceptance. That's it. Because I hate gifts. Does anyone know that? I hate gifts. I don't know why. I can't ask for gifts. Like, it's just, I don't hate gifts. I like gifts. I think they're very meaningful. However, I don't necessarily connect with gifts. I've never asked for gifts. Like, it's not, like, maybe sometimes I will ask, but it's normally something that is sustainable, like something that I need. Like, last year for Christmas, I asked for so much, like hair stuff, like, the things that pull your hair back when you're doing your makeup, lotion, those things. But those are like, those are not gifts. I don't consider those gifts. Those are things that like people just like you use on like a daily basis. Like a gift, I feel like should be something like maybe when I think about gifts, maybe I'm just thinking about little knickknacks. Now my boyfriend gives me a lot of gifts, and I am very grateful for them. They're very, very cutesy. And they are very sustainable. I don't know if you could see my little flower crochet bouquet, but he did get me that, and it's very, very cute. It's very cute. So I like those gifts because those gifts are from a significant other that has a way different meaning than me getting gifts from other people. But yeah, not to steer off topic, but I'm going to end this now. I hope you enjoyed. If you did not, that is okay. If you watched this whole thing, bravo. I'm so glad that you're here till the end. Because I do know some people have came up to me and told me that they actually did listen all the way through my podcast, and they were like, I really enjoyed it, which means a lot. But maybe people will watch it more because they can see me. Maybe, but I don't know. But I will chit chat with you guys whenever. And thanks for watching and listening.